the live blog.
Where's the live blog?
Comingsoon.net.
I figured that's where it would be.
Wait, where
That's where I
is it
found
at?
out about the Sinister contest.
Hollywood.
Wait, where?
It is
What's up, Hollywood?
announced by Del Toro. Question is it on Twitter?
Just announced Guillermo del Toro's Crimson Peak is coming to HHN.
Yep.
Here we go.
Video.
Maze of Madness. Crimson Peak Maze of Madness.
Oh,
Guillermo del Toro
that's
presents Crimson Peak.
Shut
Maze
up,
of
I'm
Madness.
trying to watch the video, John.
Nuka.
I don't like the title. It sounds really generic.
Hi, I am Guillermo del Toro, and I'm very happy to announce that I will be collaborating to bring to life the supernatural new film, Gothic romance, Crimson Peak. We will create it as a May Halloween Horror Nights and I'm very happy to announce that I will be collaborating to bring to life the supernatural chills film, Gothic romance.
Confirmation, Crimson Peak is Hollywood only.
Halloween Horror Nights and Universal Studios. And check out Crimson Peak opening in October 16th.
That voice is kind of creepy, I'm not gonna lie.
That's awesome. Very nice.
Awesome.
Sweet. Sick.
Complete confirmation, it is Hollywood only.
Yep.
Okay, I just like that. Hold on. Okay, I'm back.
I saw your forehead for a second there, John.
Alright, so yeah, Crimson Peak.
It looks awesome to me from what we saw in the video.
Well, that's just off the movie. Yeah.
It looks scary and unsettling. I'm really interested in seeing the maze and the movie, of course.
Yeah, gothic horror is always fun.
Oh yeah.
Makes for good base material.
Unless they screw it up like Dracula.
Oh,
Also-
don't remind me of Dracula, please.
Handrail.
Oh, God.
Alright.
How many Draculas in the maze? Trick question, 0, because no one knows.
What?
What?
Yep.
Wait, oh, we're live, mofos.
Yeah, you didn't see the message on chat that said that we were live?
No, I just looked at it, dude. I'm
Well,
like,
anyways, yeah, we're live.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Google Hangouts and I just see the little live button. I'm like, oh god.
Wow.
Okay, so
Crimson
Crimson
coming to
Peak.
Horror Nights.
What do you guys think? Let's start with Tristan. What do you think?
Well, I think definitely doing this as an exclusive for Hollywood only, it's awesome. And I think it's going to be really cool just to see it. I think it has a lot of potential to be a great house, but then it has some time where it can be a bad house just depending on how well Horror Nights can pull it off.
Right.
That's all I say.
Yeah, timing is a big issue. It really comes down to that, really, your experience. So yeah, that's a good point you brought up.
And I just feel like this is a property that needs to be, like, this is the first announcement, so I feel like, and especially working with Del Toro, like, that's a huge, huge thing, you know? So I have a feeling this is definitely going to be where most of the potential of the house is going to be focused on. You can see where, like, going to the event, you can see where a project is really spent a lot of time on, where others are put together at the last second. You can really tell that, and I feel like this one is definitely going to be one where a lot of time is going to be spent in.
Okay. James, what do you think about Crimson Peak?
When I first saw the trailer, I'm like, it's gonna be a good movie, but I would never expect it to be part of the Halloween Hornets lineup this year. I mean, I honestly thought Name Game 2.0 was gonna be Halloween, but they completely, like, John Murray was like really like screwing with us this year, with the code names and stuff. So I'm actually happy it's coming because I like the trailer for the movie, and it really depends on what they're going to do. I mean, because the movie comes out after Halloween Horror Nights begins, so we really don't know what's going to be in there. So
Right.
I mean, it could be good, it could be bad. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like this is something that I feel like they're gonna put a lot of time into this for sure. Because I don't think they want to screw this up.
Oh no, yeah, with the Toro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this is definitely going to be, the main focus of the event. And it honestly would not surprise me if this is going to be the main kind of focus for the event itself. Like, this is going to be the one they're really promoting. Like, as we've seen with The Walking Dead, I feel like this could be the one that's really going to promote Horror Nights Hollywood.
Right.
I mean, I can see that, Tristan. Like this being the main focus. I mean, because
Right,
he's never really worked with a director like Guillermo del Toro before. So I mean, this is an honor for him.
It's a horror, it's a film legend, film director legend. It's not so.
Right.
Having this, it would be. There's no way they would screw this up. So, and I do kind of think it's cool that we're gonna have exclusive for Hollywood, that it's this property. I think the people in Orlando are gonna kind of be bummed about it because it's such it's one of those properties that people actually been wanting to see, and they've been speculating it, and now it's only in Hollywood. So I think the Orlando people are gonna be a little pissed.
Now we feel how Hollywood feels about Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Owen, what do you think about Crimson Peak?
I don't like the Maze of Madness tagline. I think it sounds kind of cheesy. I don't like the way it sounds. I don't think it fits with Crimson Peak. Crimson Peak sounds really.
It's better than Clowns 3D music by Slash.
Yeah,
the saw is the law. Remember that?
God. Every year you got to figure out which one's going to be the longest title in the history of Horror Nights. So.
Yeah.
This was something that I know a lot of us have been speculating that was going to come to both coasts, and everybody said the same thing about Freddy vs. Jason. And then when the actual announcement came out and it was revealed it was Orlando only, everybody basically got a bunch of flaming pitchforks to go after John Murdy, literally and figuratively. So when that happened, it was like, all right, when's Hollywood going to get an announcement? And then we started hearing information about Name Game 2.0 not being what we thought it was. And then all of a sudden they said it's going to be announced tomorrow. So we all were prepared for it. And then everybody started jumping on this that it was going to be a share. And some people were trying to, including myself, were trying to say, Hollywood needs an exclusive property itself that is going to drive the other coast to fly all the way to the other end of the country in order to see it.
Gotcha, right.
I know of a lot of people, including present company in this chat right now, that are going to Orlando this year that are Hollywood regulars. So...
Who's that?
That would be
kidding.
the last two people that talk that are not from Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So I can honestly see people from Orlando or from the East Coast heading over to Hollywood this year so they can check out Crimson Peak. So both coasts have something that is a standout that is exclusive to them only. I think everybody wins in this case, especially marketing and especially merchandising.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
And I think it's going to be a really awesome house. The only problem is I foresee this has to go in a soundstage, or it's not going to be as effective. And I don't know if Hollywood would put its maze in a soundstage or not. We still don't know that information yet, so I guess we just have to wait to see where it's going to go first. But that facade itself is going to look glorious.
Oh yeah.
I totally agree.
I mean, it's gonna look good.
I agree.
But what Owen, what Owen was saying, it just makes perfect sense. Like, if it goes in a soundstage, you're gonna see much more potential out of the property itself. When you put it in a tent, it's not gonna fulfill its full-on potential. And it could either make it or break it, and most likely it would break it if it doesn't go in a soundstage.
But I will say that if you put a big facade like that outdoors, could you imagine the ambiance to have a facade like that outdoors?
Oh yeah. Remember La Llorona, the mace you guys had in Hollywood? That was a great facade. Like, wow, that set the tone very well.
But it does belong in a soundstage for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Oh. No, because like just by looking at the facade of the mansion in the movie, like that's huge. Like, yeah, you're gonna need a big space for that.
How many sound stages is Hollywood gonna use?
Wait, we'll say again?
How many sound stages?
How many sound stages is Hollywood gonna use?
Well, supposedly 2. Stage 23. And
Well, at the moment right now, it would only be 1.
So where would it? Oh, never mind. No, never mind. Whoops. Never mind. Continue. Whoops. Continue.
He didn't say anything. He was just coughing. No worries.
Whoops. I completely forgot. Okay, continue.
Angel, what do you think about Crimson Peak?
Okay. Easily, it will probably be the most detailed maze, facade-wise and all that, setting-wise and everything like that. But for me, it feels as if it's just your typical generic, hey, let's make a maze out of this because the movie's coming out. In my view, it feels as if they just want to get this announcement right out the gate because they're real. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't really appeal to me as much. But yeah.
Well, I agree. Like, literally, I agree with with you. But I don't know. I just feel like the detail and the things like that are going to be like just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, without that. But I mean, but
as like an actual scare factor or anything like that, I understand what you're saying. I totally understand, and I think that's kind of like what's cool is the detail might be nice, but we don't go to Horror Nights just for the detail. We want to actually get scared, and that's the whole thing. It's like how well can they actually pull the actual scares off, and that's something we're just gonna have to experience for ourselves and just be the ultimate judge. But then again, we'll just have to see.
I hope for the best of it. I really hope it doesn't end up like how Dracula ended up.
Oh my god.
That's all I can hope Crimson Peak for. And I really hope it does end up being a good maze. But, I mean, for me, it really doesn't appeal to me much. It's just, okay, we have a house based off a movie that's coming out. The synergy between companies.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Universal's all about promotion, so...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Now, my question is this honestly a property that Murdy should have put away for instead of Freddy vs. Jason? So this is the property that Murdy was talking about where he put this priority over Freddy vs. Jason. And the question is, at the end of the day, once Horror Nights begins, is this property really going to be worth it than doing Freddy vs. Jason?
Honestly, no.
That's
That's a good question.
But it's time sensitive, and he was talking about something being extremely time sensitive, but I think that's probably the outside the box, but we'll talk about that another time. But the thing about it is Crimson Peak, if you don't do it now, you're not going to do it anymore, because there's not going to be a sequel to it. It's going to be a standalone movie that has to be done now. Freddy vs. Jason is a property that would work any year that Horror Nights is on, so he could use it another year. He needed to do Crimson Peak now, so he had to decide, okay, fine, I'm going to do Freddy vs. Jason later on down the line, and he basically said he was going to without saying it, and just do Crimson Peak this year to promote the legendary picture of the year.
Oh, and
Okay,
it
all right,
makes
you have a
sense,
point there. I'll
but
give you that.
I mean, it makes sense like that way. But what I'm trying to put at is here, is it really something, because it all makes sense like looking at it a big picture, but as going through the attraction, the person that paid the money to go through the attraction, is it going to be more scary than seeing Freddy versus Jason?
Depends on how people
it
take
really
it
comes
down
down
on
to
horror.
that.
And honestly, we won't know that question until it
Until we go
opens.
through it. Right.
Is it
Until we
going to
go through the
persuade people to go and say, I need to see this movie now?
Certainly
That's,
didn't work for Dracula.
that's
Well, I
the
mean-
big question that really is in the hands of the entire audience, the target audience for this house.
Yep.
I mean, that is true. I will agree with you on that. So,
I don't know. It feels as if it's going to end up another thing, a simulation.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel this will end up being. Just there for the promotion, and then once the movie hits, there really isn't a huge audience for that.
I think he's only doing it to work with Guillermo del Toro.
That's exactly what it is. It
Yeah.
has to be.
If that's the case, then even better, because for that sake, working with Del Toro, and taking it more as an actual house, then rather than just doing this as a studio thing, then sure.
Well,
I think
that's what
they
I'm saying.
both win.
Like, for example,
Yeah, exactly.
like
Everybody
last year,
wins.
well, I mean, for Dracula Untold last year, you can tell just by seeing the house that Universal forced, Murdy to do it just as promotion. And that's what I'm saying when it comes down to it, like working with Del Toro, like, will Murdy spend a lot of time like he did with John Landis with American Werewolf in London?
You know he will,
Like,
because apparently this
that's what I'm
started
saying.
last year.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, this is going to come down to it. Like, this house is going to be the main focus, and that's why I feel like this is actually going to make the movie, like, attract more people to go see the movie, and I really think it's going to make the event this year.
Opening weekend
really
of the
do.
movie, that house is going to be packed.
it
I
is.
just have a gut feeling that this is going to be the main focus of the event. This is the property that they're going to promote really, really heavily. And honestly, I'm excited to see merchandise for it. I think the merchandise is going to look sick.
I'm really thinking. I agree with you, Tristan. I mean, if this is the property that John Murray wants to promote instead of The Walking Dead, then good. It's a brand new movie. It's with Demel del Toro, and I just think this is a good thing. I mean, I'm really hoping he does not screw this up like what he did with Dracula Untold. Well, good point. Universal forced him to do Dracula Untold.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. When it comes down to it, you can see what properties are spent time with. Like, you can see the properties that, Murdy, or even, for example, Mike, like, really appreciate.
Right.
Like,
I mean, like both American Werewolf and London for both coasts were excellent mazes.
yeah. And you can see, like, the time, like, they're really, like, going to make it the best, they can. And, for example, like, Mike and Orlando, you can tell Freddy vs. Jason is going to be one of the, properties that Mike is going to spend a lot of time in,
Without a doubt. We've been trying to do that house for years, so it's finally happening.
Right, and that and Murdy's probably, we've known this, Murdy's always wanted to work with Del Toro, so now he gets to, and I really feel like he's just gonna, raise this as his baby, he's gonna, like, put his heart and soul in this house for sure.
I really hope it means that than just a studio thing. I really hope that, and I hope the best for it. Detail-wise, I'm sure it's gonna be remarkable.
Oh yeah, no,
for sure.
I really think the detail is going to be, like, the next level. It honestly wouldn't surprise me if it gets to the point, like, this is our only house that could get to the point of, like, Orlando's detail, because honestly, we know Hollywood can't match Orlando's detail at all.
Exactly.
So when it comes down to it, this could be the property where they really start trying to get up to Orlando's level.
It's a good one to start with, too. Because there's a lot to work with.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
So, But the thing is it's like if you put so much detail in it, you can only do so much detail in a tent, where you can expand it and do so much more in a soundstage. So again,
I really
putting
think
it
this.
in a tent, it could really break.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, putting it in a tent can really break it. And as the spec or not speculation, the leak that happened for Hollywood, they're saying it's going to be in the location of where Walking Dead was last year. So therefore, it's in a tent. It's not in a soundstage.
I don't think it's going to be in a tent. Honestly, I think it's going to go in 747.
Why don't you do a facade and then do a tent to walk through? Just how big are your guys' tents?
They're really not that big. Like, I looked at Orlando Sprung tents. Like, those things are huge.
Yeah, our Sprung tents are monstrous.
Yeah, like honestly, our tents are probably, like, to match yours, we probably have to do, like, 3 of them.
Seeing the detail from the footage, you guys would need a soundstage to really pull that off. Yeah. I do not see a tent serving well for Crimson Peak inside with the detail, the settings, the facade, and whatnot. You guys really need a soundstage to capture the environment itself for that.
And that's what I'm saying.
So it would be really cool to put it in Soundstage 23, the old CSI soundstages, because I think it would first off, attract a lot of people, because everybody rushes to the back lot at Horror Nights Hollywood. Now it's a division because they're promoting this heavily in Hollywood. This is like the #1 thing they're promoting. So now everybody's going to rush down to the lower lot and then kind of have the upper lot and the back lot kind of mix. So the crowds aren't going to all be rushed in one area. It's going to be kind of spread out. And I think putting it in Soundstage 23 would be amazing to do that.
And I think it's either going to go in 747 or it's going to go in Soundstage 23. It's not.
Or with the leak saying it's going to be where Walking Dead was. There you go.
I don't think it's going to be where Walking Dead was.
We'll eventually find out. Murdy's going to confirm everything on Twitter later, but
Yeah.
Right.
At this point, it's just anybody's guess. But I really cannot see them not putting it to soundstages to do all the detail. And the facade is just too immersive and it's large scale, You're going to have to put that in a soundstage.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, a lot of people are basically saying that Crimson Peak is pretty much Orlando's Winter's Night, so we basically already had this. That's what a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah.
Yes and no, because we don't really know yet what's gonna be in there. I mean, we have some glimpses, but I can understand. Yeah, I can understand your
cemetery,
point.
Though.
Well, no, yeah, I get that part, but at the same time, it's not fully in a cemetery. It's also in the mansion and other places. I'm guessing too.
We were never in the mansion in Winter's Night.
I'm talking about Crimson Peak itself, not Winter's Night.
Yeah.
No, yeah, Winter's Night was fully in a cemetery, but yeah. Aaron, what do you think about Crimson Peak?
I'm excited simply because Guillermo del Toro is kind of like a perfectionist when it comes to his work. So, Hollywood is kind of hit or miss when it comes to our mazes. So having someone like Guillermo working with Murdy, I feel like having that kind of dynamic, hopefully the maze won't suck. I mean, Murdy's really good at hyping stuff up, but I think what makes this maze special is that you have a really talented filmmaker working with them.
Well, absolutely, and that's something like you're making a valid point. It's something like working with John Landis, It's like having somebody like that helping you, make this house come to life. And, what's cool is, when you see the panel of last year with John Landis, John Landis really had a huge impact on the house, both in Orlando and in Hollywood. Like, a huge, huge impact. And it's what made it so successful. So I feel like it's going to be the same thing with Crimson Peak. I really, have faith, and I really see potential in this hardcore. Like, I just can see this being very successful, really, really good.
And I like that because if he's going to be, kind of in charge Del Toro, then it's going to be a great maze. I mean, just like American Wolf in London was a great maze in Hollywood and Orlando. So.
Right.
I mean, you could have all the creative juices in the world, but if it's not clicking, it's not clicking. We don't know anything. I mean, this is basically a house that is a blank canvas that we only have seen 2 trailers for. We don't know anything that's going to be in here, so you can't really get excited or not excited about it because we don't know anything. This is basically going into the unknown.
Well, it comes down to it just going in with an open mind, and I've stated that before. Speculations and announcements, going in with an open mind allows you to have a better experience with everything. And I agree, Owen. Like, you shouldn't be way too excited, but you shouldn't be, not excited. You have to have a balance, because if you go in with too much hype, then you realize it's not as hyped as what it was. It can ruin your experience. So going in with an open mind and just, be excited for it and see what happens with it, you're gonna have a better
And be
experience.
surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, like, I enjoyed all the mazes last year in Hollywood, but some of them were a little disappointing. But this one I'm excited about. But as you guys both said, we don't know what's going to be inside the maze. I mean, we just don't know. So.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we don't even know any of the characters that we'll be seeing in this movie besides just the trailer.
Exactly.
And looking at
Loki.
the cast, you can see the character names, but we really don't know what to expect in the movie, and that's where it comes down to. And it's something like with Dracula, we didn't know what to expect because the movie didn't come out until a couple weeks after the event.
It was an action movie. It really was. Dracula Untold was an action movie, and this is a gothic romance movie.
Yeah, so it's. But the thing is that a gothic romance is better than an action, and when it comes down to horror.
Yeah, because you can make things a lot more creepy that way too.
That's my point. I really feel like this house is going to be very dark, going to be very just like Del Toro's movies. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
No, John, what were you going to say? You were going to say something?
I don't know. So Crimson Peak is. I mean, yeah, it's horror, but it's also what's it called? The romance, a gothic romance.
Yeah, gothic romance.
Okay.
Unless it ends up being another "Don't Be Afraid of the Dark."
Oh God. Oh no. But here's the thing. Hollywood has never been one to go for many originals. They pretty much have been hinged on nothing but IPs most of the time, correct?
Well, that's kind of what makes Hollywood so different from Orlando. Orlando really focuses on some of the original concepts with some intellectual as well. But that's what makes Horror Nights Orlando different from Hollywood. It's like you have original icons that make the event and things like that. Where Hollywood it's an IP based. That's basically all Hollywood is promotions. If there's something you can promote that's intellectual, you pretty much can see it at Horror Nights.
Didn't Murdy confirm that all the mazes this year are IP?
No, he did not.
I heard that somewhere.
I heard something like that.
We know all the 4 code names are intellectual. There are no originals, so they're all intellectual. So we know at least 4 of the announcements that are codename based are going to be all intellectual. We don't know about the other 3 or other 2 because there's been rumor we're getting 6 houses or 7. So we'll find out.
He said the scare zones will be all original.
That's what he said.
Yeah, the scare zones will all be original. So therefore,
no Walking Dead scare zone. Oh my God. Yeah.
For real, I actually didn't even think about that. Jeez. I didn't even think about that.
You're like, oh, we're probably gonna get another Walking Dead scare zone. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I would have said that too. I would have been like, yeah, so the scare zones are all original, but we'll probably see a Walking Dead scare zone.
Walker.
Yeah. Gosh, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, okay, so speaking of scare zones real quick, if that's the case, then what is going to be the scare zone in the back lot if it's an original?
I have no idea.
We've got no knowledge on scare zones right now. That's just complete speculation.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
at
really.
this point it would be speculation, but I'm just saying, like, what would the... Do you guys think it would just be a scare zone just so you can go through it, or do you think it would be a theme scare zone that matches one of the houses that are in the back lot? And therefore, one of the original mazes could be back there. And like I've said before with Owen and James and Aaron, could we be seeing a Dark Christmas house in the back lot, and then we go through a Dark Christmas scare zone, and then we hit the Dark Christmas house?
I mean, I could see that, but we're not sure.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's just speculation, you know. I'm just throwing things out there. But,
I mean, that's cool. You know.
but
I mean, I would love to. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I would love to see a Dark Christmas scare zone as you walk towards the Dark Christmas house, but honestly, I don't think John Murray's going to do that.
Probably not. But...
I would say if Dark Christmas is coming back, it would probably be back on London Street like it was last year.
Yeah, we'll just have to see what happens for sure.
As John always said, I don't know, we'll see.
Yep.
I honestly think Hollywood is just happy they got an announcement of some sort.
Exactly.
It could have been anything.
But I was looking at this, like I was sitting down today, and I was thinking this year for Hollywood is really all going to be repeats based on the leak for Hollywood, if we're basing it off that. Where it's really all just things that we've seen already.
But was Crimson Peak on that?
Well, Crimson Peak, you know, minus that. But we've, you know, if we're going off the leak here, you know, we've seen Halloween at the event, we've seen Insidious at the event, we've seen Walking Dead at the event, we've seen AVP at the event, and the only two properties that would not be there would be, you know, This Is the End and Crimson Peak.
Yeah, that's true.
Did I forget anything else, or is that all?
If we're going by the leak, then I really, and the whole rumored only one soundstage, then where would AVP go?
And that's what I was saying with the leak. AVP was supposed to go in 747. That's what it says. And then Crimson Peak is going where Walking Dead was. And then Walking Dead was going to where the Soundstage 28 lot used to be, because now it's pretty much been confirmed we are getting Soundstage 28 lot, because there's a tent and there's already wood staged there. There's you know it's a house location now. So that's been the rumor, and then of course we got the traditional house locations. We got Mummy, we got Jurassic Park, which obvious, and then we have Persian Courtyard.
Yeah, that
so
is true.
those are our 6 locations, and the rumor is we're not going to be walking to the back lot, and that's why we're not getting a 7th house, because the 7th house last year was where From Dusk Till Dawn was. And if we lose that venue, we're down to 6 mazes, unless we use Soundstage 23, like I said, and I can honestly see Soundstage 23 being home of Crimson Peak.
I can see that too.
And having Crimson Peak and Soundstage 23, you have the Soundstage 28 lot being The Walking Dead, because that's based off the leak. You get the Jurassic Park venue, which everybody is saying it's Insidious, and I'm not saying it's not Insidious, but I do think it could be Halloween as well. It just varies. I think that's pretty solid down in the lower lot, to be honest. It gets a lot of people down in the lower lot. And then putting in the back lot, you got, you put AVP back there. And maybe put The Walking Dead back there, so that whole area would just be repeat.
Well, no, you said Walking Dead. You said Walking Dead.
Yeah, I know it would be in the 28 lot based off the leak, but I'm just saying that would be a smart move to put it where it always has been for 2 years in the back lot.
That's true.
just keep it in the same location, so it kind of enlightens the crowds to be, all over the place instead of just focusing in the back lot only.
Well, Murdy has had a lot on his plate this year, so if there's any repeats, if there's a lot of repeats, people have to understand that Murdy hasn't had his head completely in the game this entire season, and it shows because he's got a lot of stuff on his mind and a lot of stuff other than Horror Nights that he's working on. So let's say you do a bunch of repeats you already have the rights to, and then you don't have to go back and try to find anything else.
Well, and that's what that makes sense. But I think a lot of people are going to be really pissed off, and that's because it's like really, they already are, and now they're going to see AVP come back. They're going to see Walking Dead come back. We're going to see Halloween come back. Insidious coming back. It's like how many properties are going to be repeated this year, and people pay money to go to this event, and they don't want to see that many repeats.
That is true. I mean, because honestly, I honestly think we're only going to have 3 new mazes. Crimson Peak, oh my god, the Alice in Wonderland.
Well, no, Alice Cooper's pretty much shot out if we're basing it off that leak.
Alright, so this is the end. And
oh god.
I know.
I actually saw someone saying that if ILO doesn't do this as the end, he's going to be very mad.
So do you think that might be a share?
No, God, no. It's just somebody that wants to see that.
Me?
Can someone fill me on what this is the end is?
James Franco and Seth Rogen team up to bring a terrifying new experience to Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood.
Is this actually...
I'm kidding.
I was about to say, is this actually based on that?
That sounded legit, John. Good job.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if that's how they would market, everything. Gosh. Freaking promote it all. Like
a comedy apocalypse house. There you go. There we go.
Yeah.
Well, you have to think about this, too. Orlando did Penn and Teller, and that's not really...
That's true.
Hey now.
No, I'm not putting it down.
Penn and Teller was a fun house.
But that's what I'm saying. So maybe Hollywood's trying to take that direction and try something new. Because honestly, if you try something new, you don't know how it's going to play. You got to kind of take risks sometimes and just see what happens.
Exactly.
And that was the whole thing with music-based mazes. With Alice Cooper, it was a huge success, and that's why we've had musician-based mazes from that point on. Because they were, it's kind of like people loved them so much, and it was really unique. And now maybe Murdy's trying to do something else with it. Now he's trying to focus on maybe comedy houses instead of doing music-based mazes.
I mean, that's a hit or miss. If this to the end is coming, I can see it be hit or miss. So.
Well, yeah, that's for sure. It's either people are gonna like it or they're not gonna like it, and that there's not gonna be any medium between it. It's either gonna be you like it or you don't like it.
But then here's my question: how would they do it? Because there's so
I don't know.
Stuff. There's so much stuff in that movie that they would need to.
Murdy said there was a property that could get him in trouble, could even get him fired. This is the end fits that criteria.
And it definitely fits with that, and then it also fits with what Murdy was saying with the outside the box property. It's a property you would not see in traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would not see it at a horror event. This is a property you would never see at a horror event. It's not classified as horror. There you go. It fits it perfectly, but the problem I'm having, why would he choose this out of randomness? The movie's been out for a couple years now, and
2 years.
Yeah. And why do it now? Maybe Murdy watched the movie when he was drunk, and he was like, "This is perfect."
That would be perfect.
Horror Nights.
He was drunk when he watched The Walking Dead.
How do you know?
No,
I was there.
I agree.
I'm gonna piss those people off, man. I'm gonna have 3 attractions of The Walking Dead at the event.
That's great.
That was so bad. Okay, moving on. Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, guys. I'm gonna head out because I need to go.
What?
Yeah, but it was fun talking, and Crimson Peak. Yeah. All right.
Goodbye,
Alright.
beautiful.
All right. See you guys.
Later,
Enjoy the
guys.
rest of the podcast. All right. See you.
All right, sounds good,
Yeah.
bud. Dude, he
So
just left
excited,
because
you have no idea. Oh my
Dude,
god.
he just
wow.
left because he's sad that it's not in Orlando. He's gonna go cry.
I know who is in the minority in this chat now, but still.
Yeah.
Watch him go see the gallows right now.
God, I hate
That's great.
Yeah, if you're gonna watch Luke Gallows and old Bullet Club matches, yeah, sure, but not the Gallows.
Yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my god. There's a lot of question marks right now. Like, both coasts have question marks. Because obviously we don't know next to anything legitimately about everything. Everything is nothing but rumor and speculation, with the exception of 2 things.
Yeah.
Give us a location. Come on.
So, guys, I want to ask you this: do you think the next announcement we're going to get is a shared property?
If it's post-punk, I think it is.
Okay.
Well, Murdy said, post-punk's our next announcement. So, if that's the case, based on everybody's speculation, not my speculation, but based on everybody else, it's Insidious. And it would make sense to do it that way, but I just still can't see Insidious being that code name. But, well, whatever.
What was the code name?
Post-punk. But, Owen, the only thing that really opened my mind is if this is all 3 movies, then I can see it happening.
Mm. Well, I
Because
know ours would be, without a doubt.
That treatment is way too big. And see, that's the other thing. Maybe Murdy was originally going to just do the 3rd film, but Aiello was like, we're going to do all 3. So now Murdy's like, well, we can't really promote Insidious 3 and then have, both coasts having a different attraction. So there you go. Murdy's going to do all 3 of them.
The plan originally, when we were going to get it, was to do all 3 for Orlando. So Hollywood looks like they're going to follow suit.
And that's what I'm saying, because originally Murdy, the first main treatment for post-punk was like 58 pages or something like that, and then it jumped to like 101. So that would make sense if it's all 3 movies put together.
Not to mention the first maze was a huge success, so you have a win-win situation right there for the
Exactly.
audience.
Exactly.
But then again, people are going to be pissed off, even though Insidious was a huge success, but people are going to be pissed off because you're going to see the first half of the maze the same, second half of the maze the same, and then the third half is going to be probably 1 or 2 scenes or 4 based off the new movie.
Well,
Because it's a Jurassic Park venue. It's not that big.
Exactly.
Unless they really make Insidious 3 the major promotion and then have a few scenes of 1 and 2. That could be the.
They're gonna have to cut back on. They're gonna have to downsize from the first half of the maze, because how Insidious was set up in Hollywood, which you're already aware of, I'm sure, was the first half was the first film, the second half was the second.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're cutting back on the first half, and you're cutting back on the second half, and then you're gonna expand on the third half. But then what's gonna happen is people are gonna feel like it wasn't potential in the first and second half. It's just going to be really short. It's going to be like, oh, I've seen this, but now it's just recycled and kind of put together to the last second.
You have to put it in order of 3, 1, and 2, because don't forget, 3 is a prequel. So you have to put the stuff in 3 right away.
Not necessarily for a maze, because, I mean, you have several different scenes happening at different times, and, I mean, both films...
Well, the first and second film kind of jumped back from like a prequel to, a sequel.
With the not flashbacks,
right.
but time travel.
So
And 2's got time travel, so yeah.
So, and that's why it was just the first half and the second half, and that's the way the maze was set up. So I'm assuming
I don't think you need to do 3, then 1, 2 at that time.
No. But see, what's throwing me off, though, it's not really throwing me off. I just don't think it's a smart move to do that, is to combine all 3 houses or 3 movies into one, because it's just we've already seen the first and second half of it before. And now we're only going to have 3 to 4 scenes that are brand new, because that would be the case, because it's not a big venue.
And it would end up being another Saw, basically.
And that's my problem. And what I'm worried about is taking Hollywood's best property and flopping it because they really just didn't expand on it. And that's my worry.
I mean, that's my worry too, because Insidious was great. I mean, Insidious was like the #1 maze for 2013. So I mean, if it is coming back, people are going to expect it to be the same or even better.
They're going to expect it better, but I mean, here's the thing: you can't please everybody, and that's for sure. You're always going to have people hating. It just there's no getting around it. You're going to have people complaining no matter what you do. You can even give them what they want, literally give them what they want, and they're still going to complain. So you can't get around it. But if they can prevent certain things from happening, I think they should. And that's why I don't think the first code name is Insidious, just due to the fact that I don't think Murdy would do the first and second film again. I think he's just going to do the third film.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I could see this. You know,
I could be wrong though. It's all speculation, just my opinion. But
here's my opinion. I know Orlando has never done Insidious, so they'll do 1, 2, and 3.
For sure.
Well, that's what we've been talking about. We've already said that Orlando's going to be that 1, 2, and 3 because they haven't done it, and that's why they're forcing Hollywood to do 1, 2, and 3 because they're both promoting Insidious itself. And it would be kind of weird for them to go see Horror Nights Maze, but ours is only the third film and Orlando's is all 3. It's just kind of weird.
Well, then that's my question is it going to be the same as 2013, just with more rooms, or
most likely?
Well, but that's what it is. But you can, if you have more rooms, you can't have more rooms. You have to cut back down on previous rooms. So therefore, you're cutting down on the first half of the maze. That would be the first film. The second film, you're cutting back, and you're expanding more on the third film.
Exactly. So it's looking like.
That's what I'm saying. I'm worried that when people go through it, they're going to be like, I've seen this before, but now it's even, it's cut down, it's butchered pretty much. You just butchered, my favorite scene that I saw in 2013, and now it's not as good as what it was. And that's what I'm worried.
Exactly. But, we just don't know. We just don't know.
No, we don't know. And
it's obvious, though.
It does look obvious, but you never know. I'm saying until I hear it, I'm not going to think about it. I mean, I understand what you guys are saying, and I'm thinking the same thing, but we just don't know.
Well, none of us know, except Owen.
That was great. That was great.
Seriously, it's like at this point though, and that's the whole point of speculation is just everybody's throwing their own ideas out. But I personally cannot see them combining all 3 films into one house because we've already done the first and second film. But then again, it is Hollywood's #1 property, so therefore let's just do it again because everybody loved it.
You can do it exactly the same, and it still would get over.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. And that's the thing, but if you do it the exact same, now you go into the third film, what are you going to do with the third film? You're going to have to cut down a lot in the third film or cut down because you can't expand the venue. The venue is the same size. You can't really downsize.
And there are great moments in the third film.
Yeah, agreed.
So honestly, I think they're going to have to cut back.
There's a lot of things with Insidious that's kind of, throwing me off a little bit, but either way, we know Insidious is coming to the event, so that's all that matters.
I mean, this is what I think. I think they're going to cut back from the first and second film and do more scenes from the third movie.
Yeah, and that would make sense because it's already been a repeat, but I don't know.
But then here's my thing. There were some good scenes from number 1 and number 2, so you're technically stuck, you know.
Well, yeah, it's like it doesn't matter which way you cut it. You're gonna be in a situation no matter what.
Exactly.
But personally, if this is the case, if they're doing all 3 films, I would just leave it the same, and then just do chapter 3 at the end of it, and just kind of pick a bunch of the best scenes from chapter 3, and there you go.
Yeah.
Or what would be really interesting, hear me out, is they do chapter 1 and chapter 2, but they're combining chapter 3 scenes in the combination between that because chapter 3 is a prequel.
Well, just call it Insidious without having a brand to it at all.
Yeah,
so there you go.
That makes sense. It's just call Insidious.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think that would be really interesting, is like combining scenes from chapter 3 and then jumping into chapter 1 and then jumping into chapter 2 and then back to 3 and things like that would be really cool.
I mean, I could see that.
But then again, it would confuse people.
So we don't really know.
If they haven't seen the films, people are going to be confused. But that's just with any intellectual property you do. If you haven't seen the movie, you haven't seen the show, whatever, you're not really going to appreciate it as much as the people that have seen it.
Exactly.
And that's with Owen with The Walking Dead, for example, you know?
Yep, last year's Walking Dead house.
Yeah, and if you're not a fan of it, you're not going to appreciate it as much as the fans are going to appreciate it.
Exactly.
So that's enough with my part of Insidious. I know I pretty much went on a tangent right there for like 20 minutes. But, I don't know. I just really wanted to talk about that because I feel like there's just things that just don't make sense to me.
No, and I was totally fine with it, because you were saying I was thinking the same thing, but you said it before I did.
I mean, Aaron, what do you think about it?
For Insidious?
Yeah. Do you think they're just gonna do the third film, or do you think they're gonna combine 1, 2, and 3, or what do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna cut back on
just to do the third film.
Wait, say again?
Is there enough to just do the third film? I think.
Well, I haven't seen chapter 3, so I can't tell you.
No.
But
yes.
I don't think there's enough. There's
not enough maze material for just the movie itself. It has to have 1 or 2 in it.
Exactly.
So if that's the case, then therefore, bam, we pretty much solved my whole tangent for 20 minutes. It's like if there's not enough potential for a house alone to stand still, then there you go. You're gonna have to use all 3 of them.
Exactly.
Do you think they would use all 3, or do you think they would do 3 and then take creative liberties with it?
That's a possibility too.
Like what they did with Friday the 13th back in 2010.
Well, actually, you made a valid point. I didn't think about that. I honestly think that would be a smart move to actually do, though. I think that would be. Oh, I was freaking laughing at the picture of the dog.
See, and that furthermore connects with post-punk because it's not supposed to be a share. In that way of thinking, Orlando would get an Insidious that has all 3, and Hollywood would get the third only, but it would take creative liberties on the rest of it. Go more into the further stuff that wasn't even in the film.
Exactly.
Right.
Or maybe stuff cut from the script, potentially, too.
That's true.
Because you knew Murdy at one point was saying he's reading a script for an upcoming horror film, blah, 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 blah. But that could be anything. But
that could have been Crimson Peak, actually.
It actually could have. I mean, it would. But that's what I'm saying. It could be anything. But let's just say the case is it's Insidious, and he read the early script, and things got cut from the script, but he wanted to do those things. There you go.
Exactly.
There you go.
And that's what I'm saying. So it really can be that, and that's why because Murdy changed the treatment. I don't know why he changed the treatment. It jumped literally. It was 58 pages, and it literally jumped almost 50 pages, if not more than that.
Yeah. So
That's a huge difference. That's a huge, huge difference in treatment. And that's the only thing that's thrown me off. And two, I think the connections to Insidious are just too obvious. But then again, the obvious can be in front of us, and if you're in denial, you're gonna miss it. And that's me. Oh, geez, thanks, James.
I'm gonna give you a boat so you can go down that river, Tristan.
Yeah. Oh, geez, I see what you did there. No. Gosh damn it. So yeah, it just varies. I mean, Angel, what do you think? Or is Angel even here?
Yeah, he's on mute right now.
Yeah. What?
Oh, I was just gonna get your opinion about like the Insidious. That's all.
I mean, for me, it's obvious that they would do the whole entire trilogy as a best type of house if they were to bring it back, which most likely. But I really don't have much to say. As for Orlando, I mean, same thing, but it makes sense more for Orlando since it's the first time going over there.
Yep.
Right.
As for Hollywood, I do understand the issues regarding that, and
yeah, and that was kind of like the whole thing. It was just like we've seen these things before, and if you bring it back, what are you going to do different when bringing it back? Because usually when they repeat a house, they're going to change things up. They're going to add maybe, a better grand finale or things like that. But then again, you're going to change it up because you're adding the third film to that. You're adding an extra film, more scenes in a movie.
Like I said earlier, it would most likely end up being another Saw game on in which everything is exactly the same except maybe the final 2 or 3 rooms.
That makes sense.
And that's what I'm worried about. If they do that, they did not do the third film justice.
Yes.
And that's my problem, because it's not focusing on Chapter 2. It's not focusing on Chapter 1. It's focusing on Chapter 3. That's why they're bringing it, to promote that. And if they do that, they just didn't do justice if they only do 3 or 4 scenes.
Right.
That's true.
And that's why if they do it, I was thinking they would just do a standalone house. But then again, if you're promoting it at both coasts, the property is going to have to be very similar.
And people are expecting the third film to be present as a major component of the house.
That's what they're expecting. You're going through knowing the third film's out. That's why they're bringing it. Mm-hmm. They're promoting the maze and promoting the movie. Like, go see the film and come see our maze. And if you go through it, like, there's no Chapter 3 in here except the last 2 rooms. It's going to really piss people off. And it's really going to make people that really did not do justice at all.
That's right.
But Tristan, look at it from this perspective. They needed to promote the movie when it was hot. Now it's almost out of theaters. And in most places, it's already out of theaters. So you're not going to be able to promote the movie now. You're just going to have to promote Insidious as a brand itself.
No, you can promote the DVD.
It doesn't come out until after the event is over.
You could still promote the DVD because it happened at times.
They usually will promote it with like a DVD. Or if this is the case, they may jump the DVD release date earlier.
They've done it with Wolfman, which in 2009, and Hollywood too. They've done it with Wolfman, like in 2009 in Orlando. Wolfman showed up like at least 3 to 4 months before the movie ended up coming, and in that case in Hollywood, they still did Wolfman. When did Wolfman happen?
2010.
But for you guys in Hollywood, as a maze.
Yeah. As a maze, it was 2000 and...
It was 2010.
Yeah, it was located in the House of Horrors.
Yeah, but did you guys get the maze in 2010 or 2011?
2010.
It can happen. Promotion, it could still happen beyond a film's release, before or after. And so, in that case, a DVD for a movie that comes out in May usually arrives around September, October.
It's October.
So if that ends up doing that, I see it promote the DVD more or less.
You can still promote the DVD, but you can't really tie it in anything. Because the DVD's it's going to be out after the event's already started.
But you still promote people to buy the DVD when it comes out.
You can do that.
That would be the only way to do it.
James, we're wrong. 2010 was Vampira.
I thought it was bigger than 2011, wasn't it?
Oh, okay,
2011.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's remember? Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, my mistake. I thought it was 2010.
No, I was thinking the same thing. For some reason, I was thinking it was 2009. I don't know why.
Oh. Okay, so it was 2011.
I never got to experience 2009, but then I got to experience that maze. So how did that make sense?
Exactly.
Point is for me, if they, to promote Insidious in a way, it would be for the DVD release.
It has to be.
Yeah, that would be the only way.
It's like if they're gonna promote it, they're gonna have to put it as a movie DVD release for sure.
Exactly.
I think they did that with Chapter 2 and Chapter 1 though. Like when the film came out for Chapter 2 from 2013, I thought they did the same with the movie.
It was for Chapter 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did it when the promotion of the movie came out, so they could do the same thing with Chapter 3.
Yeah.
But just the DVD.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what they'll do.
You're going to have to you don't have anything to tie it into, so basically you could just announce it anytime and say, go purchase the DVD when it comes out in October and see the brand new Insidious Chapter 3 film.
Maze.
But before you see it, you get to watch it again, live it for real at Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood.
Yeah, in Orlando.
And check out all 3 films in Orlando.
Exactly.
That's the only way you really can do it.
That's what they can do.
Then again, I'm not going this year, so I have no clue how it will work.
You're not going to Hollywood or Orlando?
Or Orlando.
You're going to Hollywood or no?
No, I'm not going to any this year.
Oh, okay.
I just can't this year.
He's taking this year off.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's all I have to say about that.
That's my line.
Oh,
it literally is my line. My video outros.
Is there anything else?
Aaron, I think we've exhausted our Crimson Peak talk for the day.
All right, my bad.
Are we done?
Have you spoken your thoughts on the Insidious thing?
Yeah.
No, Aaron.
Yeah, we all have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's kind of what I really wanted to talk about, and then Crimson Peak. Obviously, we really don't know too much information, but I can tell you that you can watch Owen, James, and myself's videos, and anybody else. Aaron, if you decide to do a video that you haven't done in ages, please start updating them. Once we get more information, you can watch our videos, and we'll talk about all the information. And then, of course, you guys can always follow the official Horror Nights and get the information right then and there.
Can we just all agree that this year's announcement season has been suckish lately?
Lackluster.
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because the last announcement was only one maze for only one park, and then we really haven't gotten into any dual. Wait, what?
They did the same thing. One maze for one park.
For Hollywood only.
I don't know. This year, just in general, like the Horror Nights community was pretty blah. I mean, like last year was so much fun because you got like Mike and John tweeting back and forth and getting us all pumped up. These were all shared IPs, but this year we know we're not sharing a lot. If we're lucky,
we made you stay up for 24 hours for The Walking Dead again.
Yeah. And,
2 years.
It just, I don't know, guys. This year just seems really blah. Murdy on Twitter has been blah, but it's understandable because he has other projects in the park, and he has, he has a new baby daughter, and he has a lot. And then Mike, pretty much everything got leaked. So Mike is like, I'm not even gonna tweet you guys anything.
What can you say right now without confirming anything? And you can't confirm anything right now.
That's my point. Like, and so this year was just really blah, and it was kind of a bummer. And at this point, I feel like the announcements are just trolling.
Yeah.
It just feels like John Murray's trolling us. Mike, everything got announced, so really he has nothing to say on Twitter.
It's not really John Murray's fault. That's what I don't understand.
Murray here.
That's what I was about to say. Like, everybody's blaming Murray. Oh, Murray's not giving us an announcement because he's mad. He's not doing this because he's mad. It's not bad.
I'll take back what I said about John Murray. I said he's only announcing stuff when corporate wants him to announce stuff.
Well, that's the thing. And, if it was Murray's choice, he would have announced a lot of things way earlier.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that same thing with Mike, too. Mike would have announced, all these things way earlier, but it just doesn't work out that way.
It's corporate.
Yeah, pretty much it's the big guy saying no. We're going to wait until...
The only way this would all make up is if Mike had a reveal week the past 2 years. There's another one coming up that would somewhat make it up, in which we would all be waiting, every night. Somewhat getting hyped up, even though we know what the houses are. We would still at least have something to talk about.
I think that's what's awesome, but the only way to do that is you, of course, would have to get rid of the shared IPs.
Yeah.
First, and then
there's only the original 2, though.
Exclusive. But that's the thing; it's only 2, Insidious and Walking Dead at this point. So we know at this point Insidious is our next announcement, based on speculation, just based on our own theory.
Speculation alone, nothing is legit yet.
Exactly. So when it comes down to it, Insidious is going to be our next shared, and that I'm assuming will probably be in the next couple weeks, maybe in a week or so we'll get our next house announcement, because we're already almost, we're already about halfway through July, and we got to start announcing things. We got to start kicking off.
We're near 2 months from the event.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I want to go to the event to Hollywood. Has anybody gone there yet to see what it looks like?
The website?
I'm going there right now.
It's changed.
Okay, so it just has Crimson Peak on the thing, but no, no official website of tickets or anything like that. Okay.
And then it links to the video.
Yeah, it just has the picture. Okay. Well, I was just curious if they announced it, the official page would be launched, because that's what they did with Orlando with Freddy vs. Jason. So
no.
I was thinking maybe tickets would be on sale right now for Hollywood or anything like that, but that probably won't happen in a couple weeks once we get our Insidious announcement. I think once Insidious is announced, then we'll put that out.
I think that's when tickets are going to go on sale for Hollywood.
Yeah,
that makes the most sense.
Or I can see this happening at Scare LA if Murdy announces it this last year, brings this, the because what did Murdy confirm for Scare LA? Did he say it's going to be a house reveal?
He said it was going to be a maze.
So he did say it's going to be maze. Okay, then never mind.
I'm seeing 2 angels.
What? Oh, sorry. One of them.
They come from heaven. I'm seeing 2 angels, the good angel and the bad angel.
Possibly.
One's telling you to go to Hollywood, one's telling you to go to Orlando.
There we go.
That's pretty much, that's all I really wanted to talk about. If you guys have anything else to throw out there, please do.
No, I mean,
I think you covered it all, Tristan.
I know,
dude. Today I was on fire.
Your body was ready.
Well, before we go, let's say where people can follow us and where they can watch our videos too.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
James, you jumped the train, dude. I'm just kidding. It's all good.
All right. Well, let's let Aaron do it, because he is technically the host.
Oh yeah, John left.
Nice.
Man, what kind of host are you, man?
I'll be laughing if you went to see the gallows.
All right.
No, I'm
So,
joking. But so, thank you to everybody who listened in on us rambling our ideas.
mine was not rambling. It was all truth. I preach.
Truth tea.
I
Hashtag
preach.
truth tea with Tristan Edwards.
We all went to church today.
Yeah, we all did.
Our bodies were ready.
Dude, that dog hits me every time. No. Look at it. Okay, anyway, go on.
Anyways. So, Tristan,
Like,
how can our lovely viewers follow you on the interwebs?
Well, you can go to Instagram, Tristan BTD, and then you can follow me on Twitter or Twatter, HHN Fanboy I6, and you can follow my YouTube channel at HHN Fan 16, and also, you know, go check out everybody else's channels that they're about to say, because obviously we're all awesome. But Owen and James and everybody else is more cooler than me, so go check them out. And get Owen to 1,000 subscribers. Owen, 1,000.
Owen, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Sir Owen Disney. You can find me on Movie Pilot at Sir Owen Disney. You can find me at YouTube at Sir Owen Disney. I'm pretty much Sir Owen Disney everywhere you go. And we're on the mission to... Yeah, we're on the mission to 1,000 subscribers right now. We're over 900, so let's get there before my birthday. That's what we're shooting for right now. And Sir Owen Disney Pop on Facebook for the fan page. Check out everybody in the Horror Nights Updaters, as well as everyone that is in this podcast as well.
Sounds good, man. James.
They can follow me on YouTube at James HHN Updater 1. They can follow me on Twitter at HHN Updater 1. They can follow me on Instagram at HHN Updater 1 /HHN. Twitter. Snapchat HHN Updater 1 .HHN.
Yeah.
Sounds good, man. Those were our guests who were kind enough to join us today.
Hey, does Angel have a YouTube channel?
I do, but I really don't do anything on it.
Dude, I was gonna say, you update, dude? You got that update game?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Dude.
That college life, though.
That college life. I mean, you can subscribe if you want. I don't do much, but yeah.
Okay, Angel, where can people find you?
At college.
Okay. Sounds good.
No, but in all seriousness, I don't care if you subscribe. I'm not gonna do anything.
He's like straight up. He's like, I don't care.
Sounds good. Well, hopefully our viewers go to college and maybe one day they can see Angel somewhere.
I see you, Angel.
I'll be at a college somewhere in Canada, so find me there.
Like, hey, but like, I don't know what Horror Nights is all about.
God.
Alright,
That's great.
Alright, well, see you later, everybody. And, that reminds me, Owen, where can people check out your next live stream?
It looks like it's going to possibly be in the weekend. I haven't quite decided yet. I know that it's going to be either tomorrow or might be Tuesday, actually. Just depends. One of those days.
On a Tuesday.
Tuesday.
And also, you can check out the podcast, but on my channel we're doing popcasts. So if you see that, don't think I don't know how to spell podcast. We're literally called Pop because they're popcasts. And there'll be Halloween Horror Nights ones coming up for both coasts, as well as ones coming up for the normal ones for wrestling, as well as Universal Orlando.
Wait, Owen, this whole time I thought it was just pop because you like soda pop.
No.
You learn something new every day.
Do I call them soda casts? No.
Oh. No, I'm kidding.
Soda.tv, the new name for pop.
I agree. All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up another live stream, and we'll catch you tomorrow or Tuesday, whenever Owen does his next podcast. We'll send a link out. That one should be fun too. We're all gonna get drunk. No, I'm just kidding.
Definitely not me. I'm still drinking that lemonade I have since 2012.
That's great.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
All right, bye.
There, folks.
Bye.
Late.
Marty?